I see a Subaru. You look like a Subaru kind of gal. You have that California Subaru girly energy.
Thanks, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to go camp in a forest somewhere.
That is actually where I live.
In the forest?
Mm-hmm. My house is a 17-foot teardrop trailer.
So when you said roof over your head, you meant a vehicle.
I meant something with a bed and a kitchen and a shower.
A shower?
Yeah, the toilet's inside the shower.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So I got all my
no. It's better than not having a roof.
Thank you.
It's a technical roof, but that's not usually what people think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It counts as homelessness in the state of California?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a vehicle.
Uh-huh.
But okay. Okay, well, that puts things a little more into perspective than before. So is that the Subaru? That's not the Subaru.
I tow it with the Subaru.
Do you have like designated spots or are you just everywhere?
So I have
I mean, it's going to be harder for you to have a job without a permanent address.
You betcha it is.
Okay.
Why do you think I can't go into an office?
Because you don't have a permanent address.
Uh-huh.
Why don't we work on... You were making money until a couple of days ago. It's like if you were in this situation forever, I'd be a little more... I'd be a little more... Okay, it makes sense. We can't afford a place over our head when we don't have a job. No, we literally had a job until right now. So why weren't we trying to get a roof over our head?
I have a roof over my head.
Come on, you know what I'm talking about. The permanent address.
I don't want one.
Okay, congratulations. Then you're probably going to have a harder time getting a job, and then you're probably going to live in poverty, and then you. Like, that's the end of the conversation then. It's like we just determined. Just determined.
Plenty of remote jobs.
Cool. How's that going?
Not well.
So we literally just determined that you would have a better chance of getting a job if you had a permanent address.
Mm-hmm. And you know how much more money that would cost me per month?
Yes, but you had the stable income.
Yeah,
and
I had the stable income living in my trailer.
Stop. And that, even if a little more expensive, trust me, I get it. It would have been more expensive on a monthly basis. I really do understand that. But it would have prevented the situation you're in right now extending longer than it needs to, because you would have been able to at least get... Listen, I'm sorry. It makes sense. If I'm hiring someone as the boss of this place, it makes more sense making sure that someone lives in a certain radius here, because it is more guaranteed that they are going to be here. Because you invest a lot of money into an employee when you're first getting them set up, especially and then it's time and it's energy, and then replacing someone is even more time and energy. You want the best chance that they're going to succeed. Hiring you would be on the lower chance of going to succeed of an in-person role.
But that's the thing, is in-person role is just not...
You don't have to lift everything in person.
No.
You could be in an office. What are you talking about?
It's not about that.
Then what is it about?
It's about my mental health.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay.
I know. That's a value of mine.
What? It's a value?
Yes, a value of mine is to not put myself in a situation that's going to make me much worse for my mental health, especially considering I have ADA accommodations.
You haven't told me what they are.
Because you didn't ask.
Yes, I did.
I said mental and physical, and you didn't ask for elaboration. So
elaborate.
Thank you. My ADA mental accommodation is up to 32 hours a month of time off that is paid typically, and it's typically a half day every other week. And then... Is
that forced federally?
I don't know what that means.
Because I don't do the HR, so my other guy, like if there are anything like that, he's making sure we're following guidelines and stuff like that. Is that forced federally that someone is not allowed to look at that when determining hiring? Because I know there are disability protections, of course. Is that specifically? Because it's not, why the would I pick you over someone who I know will come into work without the hassle of me having to reorchestrate everyone else's office in a small business around your life?
I don't think that they are allowed to know. Plus...
allowed to know. Well, that's different. I mean more discriminate against it, if that's a thing. I know there are certain things you can't discriminate against. I don't know if it's that one.
I don't either. So that's...
Well, why wouldn't you know? Shouldn't you be the one that does know? You and HR?
Well... HR...
You were just complaining about it at the beginning that the other company wasn't following it, but now you don't even know if it's a legal requirement.
What do you mean wasn't following it?
You said the other company wasn't.
I said there was an issue with it.
Did you not say that? I heard her.
Plus, throughout this situation, my therapist has come to the recommendation that I not have like a direct boss.
Girl, you're not going to survive.
Yeah, no.
Okay, I really don't understand the purpose then. This doesn't make sense. You're not going to survive in this world. Everyone has a boss.
Do you?
Yes, the audience.
Uh-huh.
I have a boss. The platform that I'm on, I have to follow the rules and regulations, or else no money.
Kind of like when I was pet sitting and making $2,000 a month and I was my own boss.
Kind of. I mean, they're still your boss, the people hiring you and paying you. Yeah, they hire you and they don't have to hire you again. What the fuck are you talking about?
Because
there's a direct level of management that might be different, but they're still your boss. What the fuck are you talking about?
Your boss versus your income is different. So your boss is who sets your schedule.
They do. They hire you.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
No, listen, if people aren't willing to hire you based on the schedule you say on Rover, then they are still setting your schedule because they don't want to hire you based on your schedule.
That's not setting my schedule. Setting my schedule is what days I'm available to do the
You
things.
can say going into a job interview, these are the days that I'm not able to do things, and they will still judge your hiring based on that, just like someone on Rover is judging your booking based on that.
That doesn't make them my boss, does it?
Okay, you're just viewing it in a slightly different way. Whatever, that's okay. And I think you want to view it on a very like corporate overlord versus like you are accountable to someone.
I am accountable to myself and my clients that I make.
You're accountable to Subaru because you
That
owe
is
them
true.
money and you signed a contract.
Yeah, that was
And you're like, I don't want to have a boss. Well, you said your therapist said you shouldn't have a boss. And I'm a little concerned by that. Big advocate for mental health, but she kind of f***ed you with that one. Because
I think she cares more about me being alive.
Yeah, you need money to survive.
I
Like,
also
I
need
get
to
it.
not
But also,
KMS.
no, I get that, but there's always different levels is the thing, right? Like, I want to come at this from sympathy, but I'm also always coming at it from logic as well and devil's advocate. The thing is there's so many different levels of bosses. You can have a non-micromanaging boss that, you know, he's still, or she, or whatever, that person.
Like
that person just sets like, here's the goals we're trying to hit. Can you help us get there with your experience? Or over the McDonald's manager that's like looking behind you as you're dropping fries in the oil, you know? There's different levels. Your therapist is saying, I don't think you should have a boss. Feels kind of like a disservice to me because there's so much in between different levels of what a boss looks like. Even you have figured that out without figuring that out when we talked about the Rover thing.
Okay. So where I lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. Can you repeat the last sentence you said? Please.
What's your plan for survival then?
That was not the last sentence.
No, but that's what I care about. Because you're like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. At that point, it's like, then what?
Exactly.
Tell me the answer.
My next step is to the company. We did sign an agreement that they will not contest an unemployment filing. So I am moving forward with that. I had to wait for my.
How long were you at that job?
10 months.
Are you going to qualify for unemployment?
If you're over 6 months, you qualify.
6 months, okay.
At least in California. So.
Okay. So your job is to be on unemployment.
And then do my pet sitting / house sitting.
We know you can probably do more, but.
Which I'm hoping to.
Listen, and I'm not going to get you in a dangerous position. Okay. I understand what you and your therapist have been talking about, most likely based on your things. Like, I do kind of get it. Sounds like you just can't have a direct and authoritative person.
Exactly.
But there are other levels of boss.
Which I do.
I
do.
Hold on, but you're just counting yourself out from the workforce, other than just independence.
I agree.
In the workforce, small business is 50% of the GDP in this country. You know, that's just the majority of jobs.
Which I'm doing.
Okay, you brought in $400, you said. When we said small, I didn't mean like micro level of business. Like, we're talking a small business like this is a small business.
Well, this is a very successful small business.
Yes, at a certain point, once it's like not surviving and $400 is not surviving.
But I'm trying.
That doesn't mean anything.
It does, because if I wasn't trying, I wouldn't.
Money's not participation trophies. You get girl, you don't.
Which I purchased in
the
full.
state of California, who, trust me, they are pretty on that side of making sure everyone feels yay. They don't define you as having a roof over your head. So
But I don't go cold.
you don't pay your bills. You were
What
forced to sell a
payment
house.
have I missed recently?
You were forced to sell a house.
Huh? I
Your
was.
dream house that you wanted to live in. So don't tell me that you're doing great.
2 years ago.
I'm trying is not anything. You get rewarded with dollar bills based on something you provide. You do not survive off of participation trophies.
But
Become a little bickering
well,
match instead of going into your. I'm really meant to go into your numbers.
You did. But I got that severance package. So
2,000 though. That's not. That doesn't go
I
very
know.
far,
Yeah, it was 1 month's pay.
especially in California.
Yeah. So that gave me a little bit of cushion, which is good.
You were only there for 10 months, so 1 month for 10 months. That's actually not very. That's pretty okay.
Pretty okay because they didn't want me to sue them.
Good luck with that. Okay.
The lawyer didn't say good luck with that, so thank you. You have a law degree. You don't.
I don't. Okay.